So I like to call visitation parenting time, first of all. I think it's really important that people don't look at it as their visit with their child, that they look at it as their parenting time with their child. And that goes for whichever spouse is or whichever parent is going to be having parenting time and whichever spouse is or parent is the custodial parent. But every parenting schedule should include what we call a regular access schedule. So what's going to happen on a routine basis in terms of weekends and during the week. And then what's going to happen during the week and on the weekends in terms of communication with the child. So if you're not seeing the child, are you going to have FaceTime with the child? Are you going to have telephone calls with the child? What is going to be your ability to actually communicate with your child and to be able to even see your child or say goodnight to your child during the week? And then, of course, there are the other pieces of this, which are the holidays and vacation schedules and summer schedule. And all of those need to be in a custody agreement. So we make sure that for each parent, it isn't a cookie cutter custody agreement. You need to know what holidays are important to your client, what vacations are important to your client. So sometimes, for example, a parent says, every Thanksgiving, we used to go to my parents. And so I'd like to have the child every Thanksgiving. Well, maybe that's possible, but maybe it isn't, because now you may have to actually alternate Thanksgiving. And so maybe you have a Thanksgiving the weekend before or the weekend after, or maybe you're the Friday of Thanksgiving in alternate years and somebody else has the Thursday in the other alternate years. You want to decide what to do about Christmas break or Hanukkah or any of the religious holidays. All of that should be in with pickups and drop-off times, and where that pickup and drop-off time is actually going to occur, and exactly what time it's going to occur. Also, I find it so helpful, actually, if the parents are communicating using one of those apps. So, for example, many of my clients communicate using our Family Wizard. Now, why is that great? First of all, it helps you change the schedule. There's a part of the app that you can change the schedule if you need to and the other parent agrees. It also actually shows when a parent is sending the message and when a parent is opening up the message. And communication is half the battle in all of this. And so it's really important in your parenting custody agreement to have the mechanism for which you're going to be able to communicate with the other parent. So I usually include an app. And we include what's called the Bill of Rights, all the things that you want to do to protect your child from being actually part of the disputes that you and or the other parent may have together, making sure to keep your child first and foremost. And so we include usually the Bill of Rights in our custody agreements. And that's a very common thing to include. And then we also make sure that we include the mechanism, as I said, for pickup and drop off, where it's going to occur and what time it's going to occur, and also whether there's going to be what's called a right of first refusal. So if you as a parent can't be with the child, for example, overnight, you're traveling out of town for business or for pleasure, well, do you give the other parent the opportunity to be with the child? That's something else. And then most importantly, there is usually a non-disparagement clause so that you are not disparaging the other parent, whether it be to the child's providers, all of those types of things. And then a consultation process. So how is it that you and the other parent are going to actually consult about major issues? And this goes to whether or not you're still going to have final decision making or you're going to have sole legal custody. Usually it's still best to include the other parent in making the decision. And so what process are you going to use? Are you going to email the other parent ideas about how a major decision should be made? And then is there going to be a set amount of time for the other parent to respond with their view? And then is there going to be another amount of time, a set amount of time, whereby a decision is made? And how is that actually then implemented? So those are all the kinds of things that should be in a custody agreement.